Christopher here, and this time I have a review for a subscription box. I've never done one of these before. I was watching some reviews on YouTube of some of the different subscription boxes, and I came across a review for one called Your Toy Box. And basically, the idea behind this is you subscribe for it, and when you do, you're given a list of options that you can go in and check, and they track down modern, sometimes, and vintage toys that match the criteria that you checked off on the list. They recommend you check 5 to 7 items so that you can get a decent, spread of, things that you're interested in. But this is from this is powered by, but it's like the website where you can go to find it is Cratejoy, and then just do a search for Your Toy Box. And I think it's like cratejoy.com. Maybe even just cratejoy.com/yourtoybox. I can't recall. I'll find the link and I'll put it in the description. And it's $25 a month. But if any of you have ever gone and looked for vintage toys, particularly from some of the more popular things, you're probably going to spend a fair bit more than that just trying to buy a figure or two from it. So, in my eyes, it was worth at least giving it a shot. I can't remember everything that I checked off, but I know Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, plush toys, because I collect plushies. Those were among the things that I checked off because there were things that I'm interested in or were interested in as a kid, so I figured that'd be a nice nostalgia trip. So, we're going to open this up. I'm going to try and not peek at anything. I've cut the tape, but I haven't looked at it yet, so I have no idea what's in this. It's fairly light, so I'm guessing that there's not a lot of movement in there, so I'm guessing there's probably a plush toy in there somewhere, but we're going to open it up and see what we get in it. Alright, so I'm going to open the lid here, and there's bubble wrap here on top. I'm going to remove that, and then we're just going to go one item at a time. So the first item that I've pulled out here is a C-3PO figure. I'm not sure what line this is from. I mean, obviously Star Wars, but I'm not sure exactly what figure line it's from. It doesn't say, it just says C-3PO figure. So let's see if it has any identifying marks. It's posable, fairly posable actually. It's 2008, it looks like, so that's fairly recent. The style almost makes me think it might be Clone Wars. The head's a little bit stylized compared to the movie figures, so I'm kind of thinking this might be from the Star Wars Clone Wars series of action figures. But he's more posable than actually I recall C-3PO ever being. It's got, articulated knees, articulated arms, and a really articulated head, articulated waist. So that's really cool. I've never seen that figure. Might have to do some research and confirm where that's from, but as I said, I'm willing to bet it's probably Clone Wars. The scale looks about right, I think, for what the Clone Wars figures were, and the style looks very, very animated, so I'm going to go with probably Star Wars Clone Wars on that one. Alright, next figure out of the box is a battle droid. Looks like from the Galactic Heroes line, I believe is what it was called. It was a series of super deformed action figures for, Galactic Heroes Battle Droid. Super Battle Droid to be more accurate, but it was targeted at younger children. Because they were big, they weren't articulated, so there wasn't really choking hazards, or they weren't very articulated. I guess their arms are somewhat articulated, or at least that one is. I actually really like this style. I've seen some of the other figures from this, and the kind of cutesy art style is actually something that I kind of really like. The new Ninja Turtles line, the Heroes in a Half Shell, I think is what they're called, or Half Shell Heroes, something along those lines. I really like that art style as well, so that's that's something I really like. That's really cool. All right, next item out of the box here is a Prince Shizor figure from Shadows of the Empire. This is from the, I believe, 95 Kenner line? 96. I actually used to have this one back when I really collected Star Wars figures. And if you've noticed, there's a Star Wars theme going on, so I must have checked Star Wars and forgotten about it. But it's basic 5 points of articulation. You know, the hands, actually maybe 6. Yeah, it's 6 points of articulation because the head's articulated, both arms are articulated, the waist is articulated, and then the legs are articulated. But there's no elbow or knee joints, and the head's just a swivel head. But that's kind of cool. Like I said, I used to have this one. I think I got it from a 2-pack with Darth Vader, where he had like this weird kind of mechanical staff-looking thing, and then Vader, is posed in his dueling pose with the lightsaber. That was actually kind of a cool pack. I think it came with a comic. Alright, next one out is a mini Jango Fett. Not a big prequel fan, but, it's basically a silver Boba Fett, so that's not too bad. Kind of would have liked it to be in scale with the other figures, but that'll look pretty cool on a shelf. I've actually got a bunch of different, like Gashapon style figures on my shelves, so that'll actually blend in pretty well. He's got his blasters, or one of his blasters pointed out. It's a pretty cool action pose. Alright. Next up is a Darth Vader TIE Fighter. Micro Machine, if I'm not much mistaken. Just this TIE Fighter, but I believe that's the Micro Machine or Hot Wheels. I think it's Micro Machine. Darth Vader TIE Fighter. I don't think I ever had this one. I did have a couple of the Micro Machines when I was a kid. One of the ones that I remember distinctly was the one that was shaped like Vader's lightsaber, and then it unfolded to be the trench run, and came with a little Luke Skywalker X-wing, and you fly it down the trench, and then it blows the exhaust port out. But that's pretty cool. So far everything's been Star Wars themed, which, like I said, I checked a couple of different things, and this one's going to be Star Wars as well. I can already tell. It is an R2-D2. Let's see. Doesn't look like a super articulated R2-D2. I don't know what the story is with this one. Oh, wait, no, it is. Okay, so kind of pointlessly articulated, but it has articulation at the little leg ends have articulation, and there's one here in the middle. And it's got a button here in the middle. I don't know if it looks like it might have had a light up eye originally, but the battery is long since dead. You may see it. Yeah, there's a screw hole here. There's a screw with a plate, so I may see if I can replace that battery and get that working. But now we have an R2-D2 to go with the C-3PO, even if they're not quite in scale with each other. It's still kind of cool to have them. Alright, let's see what the next item here is. It is an Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Phantom Menace line, if I'm not much mistaken. I actually have a Qui-Gon Jinn somewhere. Oh, it's the action one. It doesn't have his lightsaber, though, so it kind of looks really goofy. Not that it didn't to begin with. The idea was that you could pose him with his lightsaber up like this, and then he would swing it down, which it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, there it goes. Kind of sticks a little bit, but so it would be like you'd swing it down and he could attack. You just pose him. But without the lightsaber, it just kind of looks goofy. Alright, next, looks like we may be at the end here. There's one more item in here, and it's a bigger thing. It is a Star Wars school supplies set, it looks like. Or sketching set. This one looks like it's fairly recent because it's got the Star Wars Rebel packaging design on it. But it's got Luke Skywalker there on the top here, and on the pencil case in his Endor outfit. It's got a Rebel Squadron logo here with an X-Wing. Looks like possibly over Yavin or Endor. I'm willing to bet it's probably Yavin. And then you've got the Rebel Alliance symbol there, and you got a Rebel Squadron eraser, R2 and C-3PO pencil sharpener, and then a Hoth Luke sketch pad there. He's on his Tauntaun. Well, that's kind of cool. And then it's got two pencils. One's an Imperial, or no, I guess they both have the Imperial and Rebel Alliance logos there. Never mind. I assumed one was Imperial and one was Rebel. But so it was a Star Wars theme this time. We got the pencil sketch thing. We got the lightsaber attack Obi-Wan. We got the mini Jango Fett. We got the TIE Fighter, the Darth Vader TIE Fighter. The presumably light up R2-D2. Like I said, it's got a battery slot on the back of it. I'm going to see if I can replace the battery and get it working. It's probably LR44s, and I've got a couple of those lying around that I can pop in there and see if it'll work again. Then we got the, I believe, Clone Wars C-3PO. Then we have the Prince Xizor from the Shadows of the Empire line. And the Galactic Heroes Super Battle Droid. Like I said, every month this is random. Everybody's box is going to be different. It just depends on, I believe the guy's name is Trevor. It just depends on what he ends up finding to go in the box that fits your interests. But as a Star Wars fan, some of these are pretty cool. Like I said, I'm not super keen on the prequel stuff. But I do have a Qui-Gon Jinn figure that the Obi-Wan can go fairly well with. I may see if I can find a lightsaber to pop in there. I've got a comic book shop near me that has a whole bunch of random bits and accessories that you can sometimes find in one of their bins, so I may see if that'll be an option. But overall, it was pretty cool. I'm going to have to stay subscribed to this for a couple of months, see what kind of goodies I get. But like I said, it's a pretty cool thing. I've seen some people get, Power Rangers, Ghostbusters. It just depends on what they're able to find any given month at a time. I'm assuming he probably goes to second-hand shops, probably garage sales, maybe even comic book shops, just to see what all he can find to send out. Especially to stay within reasonable costs, considering the price of the box is only $25. So some of this stuff's probably gonna run you a bit more depending upon the condition. And all these seem like they're in fairly decent condition. Nothing's broken. They're missing a few accessories when it comes to like the Xizor and the Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan didn't come with his lightsaber, and Xizor doesn't have his staff. But nothing's broken, although maybe the electronics in R2-D2, like I said, I haven't tested it, so we'll see. But overall, that's actually a pretty cool box. Hopefully I can get a little bit more variety next time instead of everything being Star Wars, but that's pretty cool. So if you guys are interested, I'll have a link in the description below, and sign up. make sure that make sure you can, check 5 to 7 things, because usually they're going to send you between 7 and 10 things. This time I got 8 items. Um, it seems like they try to give you one item that's still in its packaging, whether that's vintage or new. It just depends on what they can find at a reasonable price, I guess. But it's a pretty cool little box, and you might even get stuff that you didn't even know existed or that you would be interested in. So it's definitely something that's worth checking out for at least a month or two and see what you get, because you never know, you might get something really, really cool. But I will see you guys next time.